In today's video, I'm going to cover ratios. So this video is gonna be on ratios, and then the video after that will be ratios and word problems. So word problems are a pretty important thing. You guys need to know how to dissect some problems and make sure that you guys know what a word problem is asking you. So we're gonna practice ratios with word problems too. So what are ratios? Well, ratios is basically just it's like a way to, I guess, way of comparing two or more quantities. So it tells us how many times one quantity is contained within another. Ratios can be expressed in various forms, such as a fraction or just using a colon. 1, 2. That's a ratio, pretty small ratio. Or using the word two. For example, like if I have like 3 red marbles and 5 red marbles, I could write this ratio as a fraction, 3/5. I could write it 3, you pronounce it 3/5, but it's not 3:5. We're just 3/5 as a ratio. Also, ratios are generally like simplified into their simplest form. So to simplify a ratio, you need to find the GCF, the greatest common factor, and then divide both numbers by it. So what is a GCF? Well, let's say, I'll show you an example of it. It's probably easier to understand it that way. So let's say I have the numbers 9 and 12. What are the factors of 9? Well, the factors of 9 are 1, because 1 times 9 is 9. So it's a factor, because if two numbers multiply to a number, those two numbers are a factor. So 1 and 9 are 100% factors. What also are factors? Well, what multiplies to 9? That are two numbers. It could just be 3 times 3. So 3 is also a factor. And that's pretty much it. So 1, 3, and 9 are the factors of 9. And what about 12? What are the factors of 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. All of these are factors of 12 because all of them multiply to 12 somehow. Like 1 and 12, 2 to 6, 3 to 4. And when you usually list out factors, you need to put it from smallest to largest factor. So anyways, what is GCF? So now that we found factors, what is the greatest common factor? Well, the greatest common factor is from these two factor groups, what number is there the same? Like what number is the same there? 1 and 3, right? So 3 is the greatest common factor because it's the biggest number that is in both factor groups. It's not 1 because if you divide 9 by 1, it's still just 9, or not 12 by 1, it's still just 12. So it's not simplifying anything. But if you divide both numbers by 3, you would end up with 3 to 4. Both of them are the same thing. Just think of it as fractions, simplifying fractions. 9 and 12. What does that simplify to? 3/4. It's basically the same thing. Ratios are just a visual way, I guess, to compare two or more quantities. Okay, so let's try an example. So if a recipe calls for 10 cups of flour and 25 cups of milk, what's the simplified ratio of flour to milk? Well, it's 10 to 25. As we know, we need to list out the factors of 10. Factors of 10 are 1, 2, 5, 10. Only 4 factors, not that bad. factors of 25. 1, 5, and 25. Yeah, that's it. That's just it. So what number is repeated? 1 and 5 again. 1, as you guys know now, 1 does not help simplify at all because the number would just be the same. So it's obviously 5. 5 is the GCF. If you simplify both numbers by 5, just divide by 5. 2 to 5. Yeah, that's it. That's just it for ratios. Let's see if more than 2 factors, more than just 1 and another number. If it's just 1 and another number, you could just choose. It's easy because you know it's not 1. But if there's like 3 common factors in the 2 factor groups, then you just have to choose the greatest one. That's why it's called greatest common factor. Let's say both numbers have 1, 3, 5 as factors. Even though 3 does simplify, it's not simplified to the fullest. Look here, 2 and 5 does not get cannot get simplified like further, right? But if you divide it by the greatest factor, it won't be simplified. But if you don't, you could keep simplifying it, which is more work. So it's better to just find the GCF. Okay, thank you. That's it for today's video.